Now how's this for a diversion from the normal Cheery Tune run of things? Look at this. Robiolac ready mixed colour disc, and it's obviously a colour chart which was obtained from the decorator for deciding what colour of Robiolac paint to purchase for your redecoration at home. And we've got everything from Fiesta Red to Magnolia. Anyway, the point is though, look, hole in the middle. What does that suggest? Turn it over. And we have, do you remember, they used to be quite common at one time, a flexi disc, which has been stuck onto this colour chart. Very thin, flimsy, bit of plastic, vinyl, whatever, with a recording on it. And this is an advertising gimmick, of course. And if you look at the label, humorous advice on painting from the famous punch satirist Basil Boothroyd. Boothroyd decorates, and below are some serious hints on how to do a perfect job. Important hints on painting. Prepare the surface. We've all heard these, haven't we? I won't bore you with that. But look at the bottom there. Lintone recordings. Lintone made all sorts of advertising recordings like this as cheap giveaways. And I do have somewhere some that were issued by Cadbury's. They ran an advertising campaign for whole nut and fruit and nut, and they ran it like a general election with a party for each brand of chocolate, and them each saying how good they were and how they were better than the other one. And I don't know where they are. I'll see if I can find them. But I'm going to play you this because although there's no tune involved, it's all spoken word. It's quite fun, really. So I won't use the automatic mechanism, although it probably would work because it's quite stiff with that cardboard stuck on the back. But anyway, here goes. Basil Boothroyd.
I think a lot of painting hints are too technical. They tell you all about using colour to change the shape of a room, which must be an awful shock, incidentally, when your wife comes home. But not a word about getting the lid off the tin, or the paint off the dog, or whatever it is. So I thought I'd give you a few bits of really very basic advice. For instance, if you're painting, don't drink. You're bound to dip your brush in the beer, and when this has happened 2 or 3 times in an evening, it soon puts up the overheads, quite apart from getting a rather streaky finish. And talking of brushes, never try to paint without one. Children can do it, if you turn your back for a minute. And of course some of these bright new colours are great fun for them. Snow green, jasmine yellow, fiesta red. But applied by hand down the front of the sideboard, they never have what I call the real professional look. So do get hold of a brush if you can. You often find them stuck in the bottom of old jam jars, solid as a rock and shaped like little hockey sticks. And the treatment is quite simple. You spend an hour trying to clean out the old paint, dead spiders and so on, and then nip down the road and buy a new one. Dirty brushes mean dirty work. That's what the scientists call Robiolac's law, as you probably know. And never try to paint without paint. That's another good tip. I find it's a very useful thing to keep some in stock, like brandy, because you simply never know when you might suddenly want it. Painting is a very impulsive thing, you see. A lot of people don't realize that. 1 minute you're eating your Sunday breakfast, and the next you're down the garden painting the tool shed. It's a very primitive urge, and no one really understands it, especially your wife, because she's been telling you to paint the tool shed for years, and you wouldn't go near it, you know. And this brings me to the very tricky question of painting and matrimony. And one fundamental hint here, I think, is that a man and wife should never paint together in the same room. You do the bathroom, and let her have the room next door, fine, but the combined operation is disastrous. You see, she thinks you've got the best brush and the prettiest colours, and you think that she's got all the easy up and down parts and left you with the rotten little twiddly bits at the back of the water pipes, you know. And one of you only has to lose control and say something you shouldn't, and that's it. You can land up in the do-it-yourself division of the divorce court with a decree nisi and not even the custody of the step-ladder and trestles. So do be careful about that. And here are just a few final don'ts. Don't be too eager to use anything you've just painted, especially if it's a bath. Don't paint further down behind radiators than people can see, because this isn't only a waste of good paint, but you can get your arm wedged and no one will hear you shouting until the television closes down. And don't get the idea that paint, even good stuff like Robiolette, fills up holes in walls, because it doesn't. You may think it has, but it only goes down inside and runs out of the skirting board, usually when you've got a few friends in to admire the work that you've been doing. And one very important do, just to finish with, do practice a bit of self-control when a painting fit comes on. Because it's terribly easy to start with something small, like a saucepan shelf, say, and drift on to do the whole kitchen, and then the sitting room, and then up the stairs, always saying you'll just do this next bit, you know how it is, and you can end up with the entire house done, nothing to sit on, and the baby stuck to the umbrella stand. So there we are, and you can slip on a couple of undercoats, and an overcoat even, till you get warmed up, and off you go. You might let me know how you get on. I love a good laugh.
Bit of fun, isn't it, that? I've not listened to that for decades, but it still stands up as a bit of humorous writing, I think. Good old Basil. That's all from Cheery Tunes today. Tomorrow we'll have a tune. Bye for now.